Hi, I'm Vince Neil of Motley Crue. We don't want to lose any of our fans. We want them alive. Come on, New York. If you drink, don't drive.
Tonight on the 85 Grave Show, we explore the death of Hanoi Rocks drummer Nicholas Razzle Dingley, killed on December 8, 1984, in an automobile crash as a passenger of inebriated Motley Crue singer Vince Neil. First, a brief narration of the events leading to Razzle's untimely death. Then, a narration of statements from Motley Crue and Hanoi Rocks band members. Next, an in-studio discussion of surrounding events regarding Razzle's life and final days, as well as the Motley Crue book, The Dirt, and subsequent movie of the same name released today. Then we take you to Redondo Beach, California to see video and picture footage of the crash site as it appears today. Finally, take a death ride with us as we retrace the exact route from Vince Neil's condo to the liquor store and ultimately to the crash site where Razzle lost his life.
Nicholas Charles Dingley, also known as Razzle, was born in Royal Leamington Spa, England on December 2, 1960. Razzle was known for his dramatic fashion and standout drumming in the Finnish glam band Hanoi Rocks. In late 1984, the band embarked on its first U.S. tour. During one show, Hanoi Rocks frontman Michael Monroe suffered a fractured ankle, forcing the band to take some days off in order for Monroe to receive treatment and to rest his ankle.
Motley Crue frontman Vince Neil, a friend of Hanoi Rocks, invited the band to his rented Redondo Beach condo for a barbecue and party. Motley Crue had just begun to hit the big time and was on a rare touring break. The band was deep into heavy partying, enjoying their newfound fame and fortune for the first time.
On December 8, 1984, 4 days after Razzle's 24th birthday, the condo party was into its third straight night and the alcohol was running low. Vince had just bought a 1972 Ford Pantera and was eager to show off his new vintage sports car. Razzle asked if he could join Vince on the 3-block trip to the liquor store, and Vince obliged.
Around 6:30 p.m., Vince and Razzle headed down the Ocean View Street towards the liquor store. They grabbed a couple $100 worth of liquor and hopped back into the Pantera. Since the vehicle had no back seats, Razzle carried the alcohol in his lap for the 3-minute drive back to the party. After the first stop sign, Vince made a left and tore down the street for the final stretch home. As Vince shifted into second gear, the rear end of the Pantera slid to the right, launching the vehicle into oncoming traffic at 65 miles per hour.
The Pantera smashed sideways into a white Volkswagen occupied by a young couple. Due to the angle of the slide, Razzle's passenger door took the full force of the impact. The couple in the white VW were both seriously and permanently injured. Vince acquired only minor injuries. Razzle, however, was knocked unconscious with serious bleeding from the head. The ambulance arrived and transported Razzle to the nearby South Bay Hospital, where he was pronounced dead at 7:12 p.m. due to severe head injuries. He was 24 years old.
From Vince Neil in The Dirt book. It had started out as a barbecue to celebrate the kickoff of our third album, but nobody wanted to go home. The party was a revolving door of people, but a few never left, like a couple of girls with apartments in the complex, an NBC anchor man who lived next door, and Tommy. I finally got some sleep on the third night of the party. That night, the booze ran out. I had just bought a '72 Ford Pantera, which is a fast, beautiful car, and Razzle wanted to see what it was like to ride in. It was bright red on the outside with a sleek black leather interior. We were both fucked up and shouldn't have driven, especially since the store was only a couple blocks away and we could have easily walked. But we just didn't give it a second thought. Razzle wore high tops, leather pants, and a frilly shirt. A 24/7 rock and roll god, he wouldn't ever be caught in the jeans and Hawaiian shirt that I was wearing. We screeched into the parking lot and picked up a couple $100 in beer and liquor to keep the party going. The car had no back seats, so Razzle held the bags of booze in his lap in the passenger seat. On the way home, we were driving along a hilly road that wound up the coast. It was full of little dips and hills, and as I was heading up a slight incline, there was a small bend ahead, just before the top of the hill. It was dark, and for some reason the streets were wet. Since I hadn't been outside that night, I wasn't sure if it had been raining lightly or if the streets had just been washed. As I approached the bend, I noticed that the gutter on one side of the road was full and was draining water and sewage into the gutter on the other side. As the car rounded the curve, I shifted into second gear for the final stretch home. But as I did so, the wheels chirped and the car suddenly slid sideways in the water to the left, into the lane for oncoming traffic. I tried to maneuver out of the skid, but as I struggled with the steering wheel, a pair of lights bore down on me. Something was coming over the top of the hill and heading straight for us. That was the last thing I saw before I was knocked unconscious. When my head cleared, Razzle was lying in my lap. I forced my mouth into a smile for him, as if to say, "Thank God we're all right." But he didn't respond. I lifted his head and shook it, but he didn't budge. I kept yelling, "Razzle, wake up," because I assumed that he had been knocked out too. It was like we were in our own little world. I didn't even realize that this was taking place in the Pantera until people began looking and reaching into the car, pulling Razzle out to the street. I started to climb out of the car, but the paramedics rushed over and laid me on the pavement. "They reek of alcohol," a medic yelled at the officers as he bandaged my ribs and the cuts on my face. I thought they were going to take me to the hospital, but instead they left me sitting on the pavement.
From Tommy Lee in The Dirt Book. It was me, Mick, Vince, and the guys from Hanoi Rocks who were in town partying. We were doing a shitload of drinking at Vince's and just having a killer time. We'd probably been barbecuing, boozing, and occasionally sleeping for a good 3 or 4 days when we finally ran out of beer. Vince wanted to show off his new Pantera, so he asked who wanted to make a beer run. Razzle volunteered first, and the two of them disappeared out the door. The liquor store was only a few blocks away, but they were gone for a long-ass time. Nick had disappeared too, and no one knew where he had gone, but that was typical behavior for that sneaky fucker. Nikki hadn't even shown up to the party, so no one knew where the fuck he was either. "Dude," I said to a collective couch of wives, "even if Vince took Razzle on a fucking joyride, they should be back by now. The liquor store is only around the corner, so what the fuck are they doing?" That's when we began to worry that maybe they'd crashed or been jacked for cash. I had no clue. Then we heard ambulances careen past the house, whip around the corner, and squeal to a halt. I sobered up on the spot. I think everyone did, because there was no doubt who those ambulances were for. We ran out of the house. The road curved around to the left, making it impossible to see what was around the corner. We walked and walked and walked. It seemed like forever, watching the red flashing lights bounce off nearby buildings. When we turned the corner, there were fire trucks, ambulances, police cars, and dozens of people in shorts standing on the corner just gawking. I turned my head to see what they were gawking at, and the first thing I saw was that red fucking Pantera. It was smashed. Not head on, but at a slight angle, into another car, and its passenger side had collapsed on itself like an accordion. The road was littered with shit. Glass, metal, plastic, and in the middle of it all, a fucking Chuck Taylor high top. It was the shoe that Razzle always wore.
From Vince Neil, The Dirt Book. It seemed like a bad dream, and at first all I could think about was my car and how badly it was totaled. But then Beth and some people from the party arrived and started freaking out, and it slowly began to dawn on me that something bad had happened. I saw a decimated Volkswagen and paramedics loading a man and a woman I didn't know into an ambulance. But I was in such a state of shock that I didn't realize this had anything to do with me or real life. Then a police officer walked up to me. "How fast were you going? The speed limit's 25. I told him that I didn't remember, which was true. Only later did I recall the speedometer needle pushing 65. He gave me a breathalyzer test, which I would have refused if I was in my right mind, and I measured a .17. Then he read me my rights and, without handcuffing me, led me into the back of his squad car. At the police station, the officers glared at me. They kept asking me to tell them what happened, but all I could say was, "Where's Razzle?" I figured that they had put him in another room to give a separate statement. The phone rang and the commanding officer left the room. He came back and said coldly, "Your friend is dead." When he spoke those words, the impact of the accident finally caught up with me.
From Hanoi Rocks guitarist Andy McCoy in 2016. I had totally cleaned up my act and we were going to work hard. Some of the other guys had a different attitude. It was party, 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 party till you fucking drop. But that was mainly Nasty and Razzle. I remember Zeppo, our manager, having a heavy speech with Razzle. You're gonna kill yourself if you keep partying this way. And I remember a drunken Razzle standing there, quietly listening to him slagging off his lifestyle. And he just looks up and says, you know, I don't care if I fucking die. I just want to get to LA. And he got to LA. He just never got to enjoy it. And I just wish he had. The part I remember most is identifying his body. Having to ring our manager to bring the guys to the hospital. I just couldn't tell them over the phone. And when they got down there, I had already identified him so that nobody else had to see his smashed up head. I told them what the doctor told me, which was the most important thing. He hadn't suffered at all. May he rest in peace. About a month before he died, we saw a picture of a wrecked car where people had died when going over the speed limit. It was like a dark omen that looked just like the scene of the crime. Because it was a crime. Not only did Razzle die, 2 young people got crippled.
Welcome back to the 85 Grave Show. I'm Lorn Lucifer.
I'm Bobby Blood.
What's up, everybody?
Glad to be back.
Yes, we're back.
So tonight's our first death stalking episode. A lot of people were asking us, when they seen our description, like, hey, what is death stalking?
Yeah, it's a weird term, huh?
Yeah, well, I couldn't think of nothing else to call it, but this is death stalking.
Yeah.
So what it basically is we find, things, right now it's just things that are interesting to me or us, This thing with Razzle has been something that I've been kind of obsessed about for...
Like months and months?
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, the research.
Yeah, the research has been months, but talking
Year,
decades.
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much since it happened.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to go and we're going to find the locations, as much information as we can about it. Any information leading up to it, whatnot. It's pretty well documented what happened. But what we did was we went and we filled in a lot of the holes as to what really happened that day, where it happened, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we waited until the Dirt book came out, the Dirt movie. And the reason I was waiting was because I was kind of hoping that there might be some more clues in there. And I was actually worried that they were going to film it in the exact locations that it happened.
Right.
Because I wanted to be the first one to unveil that.
Mm-hmm. To the world.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like I kind of wanted confirmation that I had the right spots. Because it's been months that I've been obsessed with getting over there and filming this. Once I found the location, this is what I do in the middle of the night is I
not sleep.
No, I don't bother with that. But I took a lot of clues from the Dirt book and things that Tommy Lee said, things that Vince Neil said, and a lot of interviews and stuff. And if you take all those clues, I was able to find his condo, just their description of the way the street looked, the way where the liquor store was, all this and that. So I found the liquor store, I found the condo, and it's believed, people think that this happened at a certain intersection. It's a 4-way stop. Mm-hmm. And like basically a residential area. It's a coastal highway or coastal road. It's not really a highway. It's a real narrow road.
Okay, yeah.
But people think that it happened at this intersection. Well, I knew that wasn't possible. And the reason is because if he was going, 65 or whatever and hit somebody there, he would have to run a stop sign. And if that was the case, that would be what they said, oh, Vince Neil ran a stop sign and killed somebody.
Yeah.
So I knew it wasn't there. So we retraced this, from the condo to the liquor store. And in one of the pictures that I was able to find, you can see this very particular looking staircase behind the Volkswagen that they hit. And sure enough, about halfway up that road, it's exactly 404 feet from that intersection. I know because I'm a maniac, and I measured it because I needed to see how it was possible he could get going that fast, you know?
Yeah.
So 404 feet up the road
Yeah.
is the staircase, and I found this. So now I know exactly, and you'll see that in the footage at the end of this video. So very interesting. It was really weird to be there, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, after all these years of wondering, because, you know, when something happened like that, you know, you only knew, you heard it on the news, you knew he killed somebody, you knew this and that.
Yeah. No internet, nothing, you know?
No, there was none of that.
Yeah, so.
So you just kind of, you know, that's the way my mind works. I want to envision it. I want to experience it. I want to see what happened. So it was a trip to be there. And it was, you know, what time was it? Like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But we had to do that because that's the only time there's no traffic in Redondo Beach.
Amazingly.
So, yeah. So, but so yeah. So we always knew, you know, we you know, at one point we were actually kind of irritated with Vince Neil because he used to live right up the street from us in our old house.
Yeah.
So we would hear him driving his Ferrari down. There's like this not a private road, but a side road.
Yeah, like
that was close to where we lived. That was a road we took all the time, and we'd hear this dickhead just blasting down the street, and we knew it was him because of the damn yellow Ferrari. You know what I mean? Like, who else has that? You know? And he lived right by us. So, and you actually saw him. You met him at the Walgreens where he would always drive to. That was the road he had to take to get to that Walgreens.
Random.
Right.
Vince Neil at Walgreens picking up a prescription.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it was something cool.
Maybe Viagra or something.
Nah. I don't think he needs that. The dude's been a sex addict for like 50 years.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Since like
Yeah. He's probably got to get like boner suppressants.
Yeah. Maybe penicillin. No, Vince.
Yeah. I don't know, man, but he he seems like a cool dude to me. I mean, everybody he got a bad. I want to say he got a bad rap, but you know, they were fucked up, man. I think, you know, I think that what happened, you know, he got villainized for that. Definitely demonized.
Yeah, it was a DUI and he killed Razzle.
Yeah, and you know, and that's true. Yeah. And I'm not taking away from that because that's the truth. But now that we've taken that drive and we see how short of a distance,
yeah,
and we know what kind of car he was driving and we know what they were doing, I honestly believe that he was just showing off and trying to show off how fast that car was.
Yeah.
Good. And the fact that that road is so narrow and it's so it's such a short distance to where he had to have floored it from that stop sign, from that intersection.
Yeah.
So I figure, and he even said that when he shifted into second, the road was wet and he slipped. He's just trying to cover his ass. What happened was, I believe he wound out.
Yeah.
He was hauling ass, you know, floored, wound it all the way out. When you hit it into second, it kicked sideways. And right there is where he spun into. He went sideways, went into the other lane, and hit the Volkswagen head on. Because, you know, you saw it was literally a minute, not even a minute drive from the liquor store.
Being in a Pantera, though.
Yeah,
Crazy.
In that car. So I believe even if he wasn't drunk, they would have probably gotten a wreck because he was fucking off, you know?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah, and he's guilty of that. But people, you know, you got to remember, too, the dude was like 20-something years old.
Yeah.
Then he goes to jail for it. You know, they let him off jail, basically. They let him off. He got, what, 30 days?
Yeah, but I think he did 19 or something.
Yeah, that's right. 19 days.
Yeah.
And during that time, the guards were bringing him beer.
Bitches.
Booze and bitches, you know?
The three Bs.
Right. I don't know what the third one is.
Oh, I did beers, booze, and bitches. Hey, whatever.
Beers. How about bars? Like the jail bars. Bars.
Oh my God.
Bars, booze, and bitches. That's what his jail stay was. So, but I mean, the dude was 22, 23 years old, and they let him off because, you know, he had to pay like $2.5 million, a little bit more. I believe it was 2.6. to the victims that he hit in the Volkswagen, you know?
Yeah.
He had to pay $2.5 million to them.
Yeah.
So they decided that instead of him going to prison where he couldn't pay anybody anything, that they would let him, you know, that they would leave him out so he could tour and make the money to pay them.
Yeah.
But is that his fucking fault that they let him out? It's not like it's not like he was his own judge. They let him out.
Right.
You know? Then he goes to jail. And the guards are bringing him beer and women.
Yeah.
Like how is the guy? This is a kid now. Keep in mind, this is a 21, 22, whatever he was.
Yeah.
How is he
Rockstar.
supposed to learn anything, you know? So
Yeah.
in my mind, you know, yeah, he fucked up, but it could have happened to anybody.
Yeah,
especially anybody
definitely.
at that party. And Razzle, rest in peace, bless his soul,
Yeah.
he was partying too. And it was his dream to get to LA and party like an animal with
Yeah.
these guys. And that's what he wanted to do. And that's how he went out. And, you know, people could say he died the way he wanted to.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to die at
Like he was-
24.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was a participant,
Yeah.
you know. And Vince, you know, he fucked up. They gave him a light sentence, not his fault.
Right.
They didn't enforce it, you know. He's in jail,
That's
all that, you know.
crazy.
So the system failed him too. You know what I mean? I'm not sticking up for the guy. I'm just saying that I don't believe he's like the big son of a bitch everybody makes him out to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I don't know. What do you think?
He's been through a lot, man.
Yeah, with his daughter and everything. Like, I mean, okay, he's an
That
alcoholic.
was hard to watch
you know.
that scene with his daughter, and
It's even more descriptive in the book.
yeah, for sure. But seeing it, it's just like
Yeah, that shit was rough, man. Like, I don't know how anybody could get through that.
right. And didn't you say something though? The neighborhood they lived in caused cancer for some other children.
You know, I
or
couldn't
something?
I couldn't find those articles, but I
Oh,
know
okay.
sometime in the past, like
Yeah.
sometime in the last like 4 or 5 years, I researched it, and there was like more cases of
Wow.
cancer like in this area he lived or
Yeah.
something like that. I
But it
don't
was
wanna-
like in children, right? Because they have weaker immune systems at the
know,
time.
I believe that was
Yeah.
the research I found. Maybe somebody can look that up and
Yeah.
maybe
We're not
somebody knows
verifying
something.
that. Yeah.
somebody let us know.
But that'd be crazy, yeah, if that happened to
Yeah.
other. Yeah.
So, but back to Razzle, you know, sucked that he died, you know, sucks.
Yeah,
you know, but,
of course.
You know, a lot of people didn't know who Hanoi Rocks was. I mean,
I didn't.
I mean, I didn't either. Nobody. The reason people know who Hanoi Rocks is pretty much because of that.
Yeah.
So, but one thing people probably don't know, is that Hanoi Rocks was one of the biggest influences for Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, and, you know, if you go back and look at some old, even the videos that we post here
Mm-hmm.
on this video, look at how much the guitarist Danny McCoy,
Mm-hmm.
look how much Izzy Stradlin looks like him, acts, you know, plays like him, same
Yeah.
guitar, same clothes, everything. Look at Axl Rose, look at his hair and all that compared to Michael Monroe when they first came out.
Yeah.
You know, plus they had that like punk rock mentality, you know.
Yeah.
Because Motley Crue, Hanoi Rocks, Guns N' Roses, these dudes were like the guys in the glam with the makeup and shit, but they'll beat your ass too.
Oh
you know?
yeah, there's some ass beaters.
Yeah, they were like a punk rock type of dudes. You know, they had the mentality.
Right, but
They
they
just played
looked
that pussy music. But
yeah.
So what? You know?
and makeup and stuff that could make them look not ass beatery.
Yeah, they were
but
just
they were.
after chicks. That shit worked. You
Yeah,
know?
apparently it worked.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was Hanoi Rocks. You know, that they played a little while longer, I think, after Razzle died. But and I know they used the drummer from The Clash, which was one of my
Okay.
first favorite punk bands. You know.
Yeah.
That but and another weird thing that I can't believe nobody's really picked up on this, the date he died was December 8th, the day that Razzle died. Mm-hmm. So that was also the same day that Dimebag Darrell died,
Yeah.
and also the same day that John Lennon died.
Damn.
So there's like you got the 27 club, but there's really like a December 8th club.
Yeah, that's trippy.
Maybe we'll do a show on that one time.
Yeah.
Like
the December 8th club?
Yeah. The 12-8 club. The 128.
27 club sounds more interesting too, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always a trip.
Yeah, it is. That's a trip. So, you know, going there and seeing all this and stuff, that was the death stalk. I'll tell you the one thing, the two things that was really crazy to me, like the most iconic shot of the whole accident, and the one thing that they always showed on the news when it happened was Razzle's Converse, his shoe
Yep.
in the street. And I was able to, you know, based on the pictures, find that exact spot. So
Yeah.
you'll see in our footage, you're going to see it after this commentary, that I put your Converse actually. I took one of your shoes and I put it in the street exactly where it was. So when you see our footage, the new footage, that's exactly where the shoe was. That's exactly where it happened. We found everything.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys like all the details.
Hope so. And
Let us know.
Another quick thing too, like a lot of people were going to think about the December 8th. You know, people are going to say, if they look, they're going to see on his headstone, it says December 9th.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, the reason it says December 9th is because Razzle was from England. And I know people think he's from Finland because Hanoi Rocks was a Finnish band. But Razzle was actually born in England. I'm pretty sure he grew up there, and he's definitely buried there. So he died. He was pronounced dead at like 7:12 p.m.
In America.
But in England, it was already December 9th. So that's what they recognize as his death time.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because that's where his family is and all that.
Yeah.
So,
dang.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. From here, I'm going to throw up the videos now from the crash site.
Yep.
And then the last video you're going to see on this episode is the death ride. We drove from Vince's condo, and we went through a lot of research to make sure it's his condo, and I was still not 1,000% sure. That's why I wanted to wait till the dirt came out, but the dirt didn't give anything. No. They just kind of glossed through the actual crash really quick.
Right.
I don't know how much of that is even accurate.
Yeah.
I know the details aren't always important in a movie.
Right.
It's not a documentary, it's just a movie. So
Exactly.
But now that it's out and they didn't touch on it, I know for sure that this is his condo.
For sure, yeah.
So we drove from the condo to the liquor store, pulled around, came back, and then turned into exactly where he would have hit the Volkswagen.
Yeah. We got to mention the other two people in the car that he hit.
Yeah, I don't know the man's name, but the girl's name was Lisa Hogan. She was only like 18. She got permanently, I think, brain injury, brain damage. I think one of them got maybe crippled, but they're both disabled permanently.
Yeah,
I don't know.
horrible.
I don't know to what extent. They probably don't want that out there. They're probably just trying to live their lives.
Yeah, I mean.
So respect to them, and never forget the victims that lived.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that, if anything,
I mean, I'm sure Vince had like survivor's guilt, but I mean, he survived too. I mean, that's a thing, but
of course he does. I mean, the guy's not a piece of shit.
No, not at all.
He's a party animal.
Still to this day.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good for him.
But it was cool. Yeah.
Everybody else wishes they could, live that long and party that long.
Right.
I respect the dude. I don't care. I mean, I'm not a drinker. I've never done coke or none of that stupid shit.
Oh, you're missing out.
Yeah. Well,
Coke is awesome.
The night is young.
Just kidding.
Maybe I'll break my drug-free lifestyle or life and fucking just do some blow. Maybe I should have done it before we watched The Dirt.
Yes.
That'd have been the best time to try it for the first time.
Yeah, they were. That movie was hype. You guys go watch The Dirt on Netflix. Read the book. It's, I don't know. It was entertaining to me. So
yeah, I thought it was
loved
great.
It.
The haters, the critics, they're haters.
Yeah, the critics did not like it. Like I read Rolling Stone article, Esquire magazine or something. They were not liking the movie.
Yeah.
But critics are critics, whatever.
Hey, fuck them.
Yeah, Machine Gun Kelly was awesome in the movie.
He was, man. I wasn't even a fan of his.
Coulson Baker. I'm not sure if he's trying to change to his name because that was in the credits. So, but anyways, Machine Gun Kelly, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're on Team Eminem, I don't know what to say to you, but yeah, he was good. He's really good.
I thought he was great, man.
Yeah.
He was a great actor. If he doesn't get some kind of award for that,
he
was
portrayed
great.
Tommy so good.
He's a good actor, man. He's really good.
Yeah, right.
I was really impressed. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
I agree. But yeah, you guys, hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, hope you enjoy it. We're gonna cut it short here. We're trying to keep this podcast under 6 hours.
Right.
Yeah. So I know we're already pushing 30 minutes total. So
yeah, we need
time to cut it.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah.
So
you guys don't need this much of us.
Yeah. So we will catch you next time.
Yeah.
Enjoy the video. Please watch it. Please subscribe to our YouTube. Please, if you're just hearing this, go at least check out. In the description on the YouTube, I put the chapters. So if you look in the what do you call it, the comment or the description, there'll be timestamps, and all you gotta do is click them. If you don't want to see certain parts of the thing, you can see. Like if you just want to see the death ride, just click on the number next to it, and it'll take you right to it.
That's dope.
But do yourself a favor and go to see the footage, because we can talk and stuff, but this is really all surrounding the footage. Yeah.
Check it out, you guys, and let us know what you think.
Definitely.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Later.
This next few minutes is the part you'll definitely want to go to YouTube for. Here's the crash site as it appears today. This is where Razzle's shoe was in relation to the wreck. Right about here would have been the point of impact, about where obviously where the shoe is. Then the Volkswagen ended up pushed up right next to those stairs, halfway on the sidewalk, halfway in the street. Here's that iconic view of the crash site where you can see Razzle's shoe. You can see pretty how far it was away from the car, give you an idea of the impact. And their staircase again, the entire scene. Here is the liquor store. The crash was only about a block and a half away from here. So right here on the left, across the street is Vince Neil's old condo. We're in Redondo Beach. He would have pulled out with Razzle in his passenger seat from here on the left somewhere. Now we're heading towards the liquor store. They said many times it was just around the corner, just down the street, whatever. It really is very, very close, and you'll see it just takes a minute to get there. We come up to the first stop sign. Now, this is the direction that the Volkswagen would have been heading because he hit him on the way back. So now we're heading down the second block. Over here on the right there is where the crash site was. So he passed it. He's heading down. We're going to turn right up here at this light. Or I'm sorry, the stop sign. Keep in mind this was about 6 o'clock in the evening. So there was traffic. Right now in the video it's about 2 in the morning. Okay, here's the liquor store on the left. I imagine he pulled in here. Parked probably somewhere in that parking lot, I would imagine, because in the daytime there's a lot of traffic, so he probably had to park in the parking lot. So now I'm going to come out. I'm going to just kind of get a good visual of the front of the store. So here it is. Now we're going to start the death ride. So they took off. Now this was a 72 Ford Pantera, I believe. Very fast car. He probably tore down this street. Now everybody thinks this intersection is where the crash happened, but it is not where it happened. I found in the pictures where it really happened. If he would have hit somebody here, he would have had to run a stop sign, and that wasn't the case. So he takes off up this street. He had to have been flooring it because it's just right up here. So right now he's probably winding out. He said he got up to 65. I would imagine he shifted into second gear about right here and then spun, lost control, went boom, hit right here. Hit head on with the Volkswagen. Driving up now to South Bay Hospital. This is where they took Razzle. Now he was pretty much already dead. I'm sure they knew he was, but they had to bring him to the hospital to pronounce him dead. So right up here, it doesn't look like it's the same layout as it used to be, but this right here was, in those days, the emergency room entrance. So they undoubtedly brought him here, took him through these doors into the back.